Hello everyone. I'm audible, right? Hello.
Yes, but Shudit, the screen is not like probably that starter screen is not showing. Yes, now it is.
It's correct now, right? My
Yes, it is
screen is
correct.
visible.
Yes, it is correct.
Good evening, guys. We This is our first session for this month. Introduction to cloud. That's Cloud 101 session we are organizing today, and welcome you all again. And thank you for joining, guys. So this will be our agenda for today. The guest lecture is there with Indranil. Welcome Indranil for our guest, and thank you for accepting our request. And then I'll be talking about some AWS services like EC2, IAM, and S3. So this will be our agenda. So, Indranil, you can start.
Yeah. So let me know if once my screen is visible. You can see my screen, right?
Yeah, yeah. Your screen is
Okay.
visible.
Okay. Good. Uh, okay. So let me just go back to my presentation window. Just give me a minute. Yeah. So yeah, I'm starting now. Hello everyone. Do you know that when Netflix uses when Netflix streams data all over the world seamlessly without any downtime, it's not magic. AWS manages their infrastructure and their whole architecture so that you can enjoy your show without any downtime, and your shows are available all the time. So welcome everyone. I'm Indranil Bhattacharya. I work as a data scientist at Renault, and as you know, the topic for today's session is Introduction to Cloud or Cloud 101. So you must have seen some some introduction to cloud somewhere before, but my goal will be to give you enough pointers so that you can actually correlate the courses that you are taking in the diploma and the degree level, and like to motivate you so that you can get started on using AWS as one cloud provider. So the first question all of you must be having is what is cloud computing or what is cloud in terms of cloud computing? Cloud computing is a platform. Cloud computing or cloud computing providers are a kind of platform, which is a platform using which you can use IT infrastructure, different infrastructures over the internet as a software. It's just like you are using maybe some Google Docs or something like that. You can use it. So we need to understand a few things here. One is what is IT. Well, a few things we need to understand. IT infrastructure, then over the internet, and what do you mean by software as a software? So to give you an example, you guys must be having your own computer. Maybe it can be laptop, it can be desktop, and you have a specific amount of either storage, some storage, maybe 8 GB or 16 GB of RAM. You can also be having some GPU in your system if your system, like if you need those things. But like these are the IT infrastructure that I like we are referring to. These are IT infrastructure. The second point is that if you have taken either the MLP course before, or maybe you're working on your MLP project in this term, or if you have taken even the DLP NPPs, DLP assignments, you must have seen this annoying error message that either your kernel crashed or you're trying to load some Llama model and it was not loading on your GPU, the freely available GPU, right? So these are like constraints. So we as data science students are always constrained with the amount of resources that we can get for free, right? Even if you are trying to use those on your own system, will probably have or encounter this type of uh, errors. So these are like constraint. But when you work as a when it comes to an enterprise usage, you cannot say to your client that okay, I was trying to load a Llama model, but I didn't have that much GPU, so I could not load the model. So you need some kind of a flexible way to get access to those state of the art like IT infrastructure. At the same time, you need to ensure that you are not overspending on those resources. So by overspending, I mean, let's say your DLP project is going to end in this term, and after that, maybe you will not take any DL related courses anymore. So if you keep that GPU with you and you are not utilizing that, that means you are overspending, right? So that is the kind of optimization that you need to like maintain when you are working on an enterprise project kind of thing. So this kind of flexibility can be achieved only through cloud. So let us now go like focus on the slide. So these are like on-demand IT resources. Cloud platform gives you on-demand delivery of IT resources. And the best part of cloud, what can be the best part? It is pay, like it works on pay as you go pricing. So you do not pay upfront for all the resources. You just pay for whatever resources that you like consume. So it is just like the IITM semester system where you do not pay for the whole course for the whole program. You pay for whatever number of courses that you are taking in the current semester. That is the exact same pricing model. So you pay for whatever service you use, pay as you go pricing, and you do not pay or you do not you are not responsible for most of the time maintaining or owning that resources. So that gives you the flexibility to always go for higher resources or to go for new resources. And this is like as need basis, so that whenever you need those you can get it on just with a click. You can just get more RAM, more GPU, and whenever you do not need it anymore, you can just scrape or you can just spin down that resource. That's the power of cloud computing. That's the kind of flexibility you always need as a data scientist or even as a software engineer. So, guys, I'll be mostly giving example from a data scientist perspective. Please, I'm biased towards data scientist, machine learning examples. So the same things are applicable to software engineers as well. Yeah. So please bear with me. Now, what are the benefits of cloud computing apart from pricing that I already talked about? So these are like the headers, like agility gives you agility, elasticity, and you can go global in minutes. So what do we mean by agility? If you have not taken software engineering course before, or like if you are not familiar with the term agile development, so agile is a process where you build the whole system, not completely, not in one run. You split that complete process into small manageable parts, and you build the whole product into few like multiple sprints across multiple sprints. And the it can be the benefit, or it can be the like the negative point, is that you never know, like you never know that the like the software requirements, the client's requirement can change at any time. So it can either be a good point, or it can be a bad point as well. So when you're working as a developer, you never know that whether in the next sprint the client wants the AI chatbot with AI with agentic abilities. So if you have started building your application with one set of ideas, and suddenly that has changed, then as a developer you will find it very difficult to manage all these things, right? Even it becomes even more difficult when you think about from a deployment perspective. You are deploying your application, and so it becomes difficult. So cloud, at that point you need utmost flexibility, so that whenever some requirement changes, you quickly kind of shift your focus to the new requirements, even new deployment strategies. So these are the, yeah, that's how cloud gives. And with cloud you have access to infinite amount of resources with just one click, right? So that gives you the agility, utmost agility agility to work on your projects. Elasticity, so to give you an example, maybe you are working on your, suddenly the course team, if you are taking the DLP, if you are taking the DLP course, you know that maybe sometime they have suddenly released the NPP, or if you are taking MLP project, you suddenly realize that you need more resources, you need more RAM to work on your project. So, but you will not keep that RAM with you like all the time, right? So whenever the demand grows, you need to quickly scale up your resources, so that you can keep up with your demand. And whenever the like demand goes away, like the course is over, so you will not keep that RAM with you, extra RAM, extra GPU, right? It is applicable to app dev courses as well. Maybe you have built an application, and you are kind of now serving your customers. You have built an application and you are serving your customers. Now you were probably you had kind of 100 or 1,000 customers when you just started, and suddenly your demand grew for certain reason, maybe due to festival season. Now at 5,000 customers are coming to your platform daily. So if you have like allocated a set amount of resources, keeping 100 customers in mind, then this 5,000 customer will break your system, right? So you need to quickly scale up at that time, so that your customer can keep on using that your application. But let's say after the demand went away, after the festival season, you came back again to 1,000 customers a day, then you will not need that extra resources anymore, right? Then you'll be paying for extra resources for nothing. So you need to quickly scale down. That is the kind of elasticity you need as a developer to have, and cloud gives you that ability. And the last one is the go global in minutes. That is, if you have worked on your application development project, you must thought of sharing your application with your friends and families. But the local annoying localhost never runs on other system, right? It is localhost. So you need to somehow deploy your application somewhere, so that it gets accessible over the internet. So a cloud gives you that ability to quickly deploy your application, so that you can share your like precious link with your friends and families. and it is even true for like machine learning applications as well. So these are some benefits. Now let us talk about what is AWS. So if you have not heard about it, AWS is one of the biggest cloud providers. They have more than 15 years of experience. Like they are like more than 15 years old, and they have a lot of services or kind of IT resources that you can actually use and like quickly get access to those resources over the internet that we're talking about. And if you're talking about the kind of services they have, I'll go to that section as well. They have a truly a lot of resources, services you can check. And like from from a student's perspective, from a student's perspective, if you go and check any kind of job description, most likely you'll see AWS mentioned as one of the skills. So I gave you one more point to like get started on AWS, right? So to get a job, you will have to have some cloud skills, even as an intern, so that you can work on scalable enterprise projects. Again, these are the quick snapshot of the benefits. Agility gives you the agility I already talked about. Cost savings. So if you are talking about um, like old ways of working on IT infrastructure. If you wanted to deploy your application maybe 20 years, 15 years, 20 years back, you had to procure your own server and you had to maintain your server, networking, a whole lot of things to just deploy your first build web application, your first app dev project, right? So, and basically the problem here is you need to, even before you start, you need to procure all the IT infrastructure, you need to configure all those things, and then only you can start deploying those services, right? So cost is a very that is like a fixed cost, and you cannot really if you're talking about enterprise, if you're talking from an enterprise perspective, you cannot reduce that fixed cost because you have already purchased all those big servers, networking instrument, all these things. So if you move to the cloud domain, that fixed cost becomes a variable cost. So you can just whenever you do not need the service, you can scale down. Whenever you need more service, you can scale up. That fixed cost becomes a variable cost. So you can actually, if you manage these services really well, you can actually have a lot of cost saving as well. Elasticity, innovate faster. So you no need to you when you go to the cloud domain, you no need to focus on um, like configuring the servers, all these things. You focus only on the application development. That is a very when you work as a developer, that is a very crucial thing to have, right? So you no longer worry about your own server. Will it work on my server or not? You just work on your Flask application. Whenever it is ready, you go to the cloud and you deploy. That is a very cool thing to have, right? And you can just like as we already talked about, you can go global in minutes. Now, as I gave you that first opening speech that Netflix serves or the seamlessly share all this data or stream all their resources, all their web shows, all these things over the all over the world. How do they do that? How does AWS ensure that their services are available all over the world? So this is like a quick overview of that. So AWS has split up the whole world into few logical blocks, building blocks. The first one is regions. These it is like now listed 26. It might have increased. So these are in India you have maybe two regions. One is I think if I'm not wrong Delhi and Mumbai, and inside that region you have AZ. These are known as availability zones. So inside availability zones you have actual data centers these data centers are nothing but some very well secured places where AWS has racked up their servers, their networking devices, everything. So just like your laptop is sitting on your desk, AWS has this data center where their servers are actually working continuously over the 24 into 7. So these are actual data, like these are actual compute resource IT infrastructure that you are actually getting from AWS. And you have multiple ACs inside one region, and you have multiple AWS regions. So what does it like? How does it affect, or how is it beneficial? So let's say you are like your application, you have deployed your application, you have started your own startup, and the customer base is in USA, lives in USA. So if you deploy your application on India, on an Indian like region, then that the data from your customer has to physically travel to your Indian server, to the Indian AWS server, and physically have to go back, right? So this adds a lot of latency to your system. That is why AWS has lot of AWS regions. And let's say your customer lives in India, so you'll deploy your application in some Indian region based on a lot of factors, cost. They have carbon footprints, a lot of other things as well. Based on your demand and based on the customer demand, all these things, you will pick up the best region that provides you the best kind of pricing. That is why AWS has all these different region. Inside that they have ACs, inside that they have multiple like data centers. So that is kind of that is how actually AWS operates and ensure that your data, your services are always available, like almost 24 into 7. Now to give you, like as I was talking about, we already talked about it. AWS has a lot of services. So these are like a quick snapshot of this thing. These are we have categorized into multiple blocks. These are not an exhaustive list of AWS services. There are a lot of other things you have to go and check. Now, if you are let's say data scientist, you will most likely use this machine learning, analytics, and sometimes even some DevOps, right? If you are working as a software engineer, you will most likely use DevOps and IoT, all these things, right? Now, to give you an example, let's say you're working on your MLP project, right? Maybe it's on Kaggle. Now, when you have to work on some enterprise project, you need a lot of more resources, sometimes even more GPU, more RAM. So AWS SageMaker is your go-to platform where you can actually get the data, you can actually work on your project, you can develop your machine learning models, you can tune your hyperparameters, and even you can serve your model there using AWS SageMaker. So you have a lot of other kind of services as well. Here you have text to speech, right? Then you have facial search, you have image recognition. For all this, these are like use cases. So for facial recognition and image recognition, you have AWS recognition. For to build quickly a chatbot, you have, if I am not wrong, it is AWS Lex. If you want to have a text to speech system, state of the art text to speech, AWS has already built a service. Just have to connect that AWS Poly service with your application, and you can get access to a state of the art text to speech service. These are like only machine learning services that you can have. Even they have, I actually use AWS to extract a lot. So if you have, let's say, a lot of bills, from that you have to get like structured data. You need to have some OCR, intelligent OCR, right? For that you have AWS to extract. Now coming to the analytics part of it, you have to have some ETL pipeline, right? ETL is export, transform, and load. And maybe the data is coming from some IoT server, IoT chips, or maybe some IoT devices. For that, that IoT device is continuously streaming some data. So for that, you need some IoT services, right? that IoT needs to be connected to um, some place that can actually get the data. Then you have to actually transform the data using some business logic, right? And then you have to load the data into some data warehousing tool. So this is like a complete pipeline, end-to-end pipeline. Then only your data scientists can actually work with the data. So that will connect with the AWS Edge method, and you can actually get the data from the IoT services, even sometimes real time. So that is how you will. That is how you can work on a full end-to-end machine learning project on AWS. There are a lot of other services as well. Like if you are interested to deploy your Flask application, maybe some other applications, you have you can actually containerize. These are containers, right? These are very small letters, containers. So you can containerize your application, your Flask application. Um, Probably someone is sleeping. Okay, so you can actually containerize your application, and containerizing means you have to dockerize your application, and you can quickly deploy your application, maybe using AWS Elastic Container Services, AWS Elastic Kubernetes Services, all these things. So as a software engineer, you also need these services, not only as a machine learning engineer. So these are like a small snapshot of this. To share more, information. This is like AWS Poly. So you can use this to generate AI, like very human-like voice from text. If you have, let's say, your customer needs some human-like interaction, you can actually use AWS Poly, and you can add more human touch to your application. If you need, let's say, chatbot that I was talking about, you can actually use AWS Amazon Lakes, and you no longer need to develop your own chatbot. You can actually give access to your knowledge base to Amazon Lakes, and it will have uh, AWS has already built a chatbot for you. You just have to give your knowledge base to AWS, and you will have this chatbot even within a minute or so. This is the power of cloud. And if you are starting fresh, if you are like if you are a student, and you may not have the credit card with you. That is a very big problem, and without credit card you cannot even use this AWS services. So AWS has a good solution for it, that is known as AWS free tier. So these are like a lot of services are available always for free, and they have the quota like AWS S3. This is like the cloud storage platform. So 5 GB of standard storage is always available, and like the duration is 12 months. For 12 months, you have S3, and the quota is 5 GB. And similarly, you have a lot of other resources that are available always, sometimes for free, like AWS SNS. I don't know how it does, but it is always free. AWS Q developer. Like if you need a code assistant, it is like your GitHub Copilot. And actually, if you come to this site, you can actually see what all resources are always free, 12 months free, and sometimes you can even filter it on based on your use cases. Like as I'm talking about, AWS Lex is free for 12 months. So as a developer, you will always need you need to ensure that you already know the pricing model, how it actually is priced, and you can actually use this free tier for maybe 12 months or always, and actually make sure that you are not overspending. Now, let me go back to my slides. Do I have any? Okay. So to give you a more success stories, as I already told you, Netflix, like their complete infrastructure coming from real-time streaming to a recommendation engine. Like if you go to Netflix, you will see that your recommendations that are some that is like some recommendation engine is like running under the hood. So that actually runs on AWS. That's not magic. And if you go and check, Toyota as an OEM also uses AWS to innovate their systems. If you, it's not mentioned here, but Nissan also uses AWS for a lot of their services. Moderna also uses AWS for optimizing their drug development pipeline to reduce cost. And to give you just to this is my own experience. Nissan uses like AWS for a lot of innovations, and like without cloud, it would have been almost impossible to have those things. I have first-hand experience as one of the intern there. So even Moderna uses it for their cost reduction. And if you go to this website, you will see all the success stories, more user stories, and case studies, and hopefully it will give you more motivation to get started on AWS. Now coming to the resources, before going to that part, if you are like a student, you may not have a credit card with you. So my suggestion is, please use your own credit card to sign up for AWS. Do not borrow your friend's credit card or something like that. Because if you mess up somewhere, you can have a huge bill at the end of the month. Okay, this is just a warning message for everyone. So let me go to the resources section. So we, as a student, will not have probably access to credit cards, right? So that is why, and we are student of IIT Madras, and it comes with its own perks, and so it has its own benefit. So the benefit number one is we have AWS Cloud Club. What is AWS Cloud Club? I'm just Sujit. I'm just going for the AWS Cloud Club as well, if it is fine. So AWS Cloud Club is a student, yeah, AWS Cloud Club is a student run activity, like student run clubs that are affiliated officially with the AWS academic advocacy team. And these are, as these are student run, we and have a lot of events, and the benefits are like you have access to a huge global community. We can organize a lot of events, sometimes even workshop where you come and integrate some AI APIs with your existing web applications. These are like small workshops, and you can sometimes even earn vouchers. I'm just saying, but it's not like whenever it comes, we'll get access to it. And basically, you get access to this huge community where you can. We have a lot of events, and previously we had actually a lot of events where we had AWS Deep Racer days and all these things. So this is like one resource. The next one is AWS Academy. You must be having a lot of queries. We'll take that at the end. So if you are a student, if you're just starting, you can just register for the AWS Academy courses, where you can actually learn about those AWS, like you can take semester long courses and get started on AWS Cloud. And the best part of it, both AWS Cloud Club events and the AWS Academy courses also gives you access to some temporary AWS accounts using which you can work on some real world applications you can build. To give you one more example, to give you one more resource, like this is AWS Cloud Quest. If you go to this website, you can actually have access to a real world simulation where you can work on real world like business applications using your temporary AWS account. So this is like a very good place to get hands-on experience on AWS Cloud. I'll quickly go to the next slide. These are like a few last slide I have. If you are interested in AWS certifications, these are paid official certifications from AWS. So if you are just starting, foundation will be the most appropriate one. You can go till the specialty. But my suggestion, okay, I'm not sharing my screen. Correction, yes. So these are the AWS certifications. Foundational will be the best for you if you are just starting now. Now these are the all sorts of certifications that are available. Please remember that these are paid certifications, and like whenever we get access to vouchers, we may give you the vouchers, but please note that we also don't have unlimited amount of vouchers, even a Cloud Club or AWS Academy. So whenever we have access to these vouchers, we can distribute them. So AWS certification paths are available here, and like these are just some tips, and these are the exam preparation resources which will be shared at the end. Yeah, and that's the end of that's the almost the end of my presentation. If you are a student and if you are, it's good. If it's good, it's probably the case that you are interested in cloud certification, but please note that these are good to have, but please note that these are very expensive certifications. So maybe before going for the certifications, uh, take this AWS Academy courses, get involved in the AWS Cloud Club events, and get more hands-on experience. And once you get maybe some vouchers, you can actually go for the AWS certifications. Yeah, so that's the end of it. If you have any questions, I can take the questions now.
Yeah.
What
Thank you,
do you think?
Indranil. Thank you. Okay, so we have circulated one Google form. You can fill that form, guys. If you have any question, you can ask there. So I'll continue with some services. Like, okay, so I'll share my screen.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, screen is visible, right?
Yes, your screen is visible, but not full screen. Maybe, yeah, it is good now.
Okay. So thank you for amazing intro about cloud, Indranil. So I'll be introduced to you about AWS actually. So what is actually your AWS? AWS, we can say it's Amazon Web Services. So it's a cloud platform by Amazon. So we have some thing like we have to build application, we have to test the application, and we have to deploy the application. And sometimes what happens, the crowd gets more in our application. That time we have to manage the application by the load. So here AWS will help in that point. So AWS have that much infrastructure, we can say. So that's why we call it that infrastructure as service. So AWS itself have some like infrastructure as services, some like platform as services, some as software as services. So Amazon have clubbed the AWS in the way that it contain end-to-end solution for the application, for the startup, for the big company. So there are the example like Netflix, Reddit, and the NASA. They use AWS. That have 200 plus services, and if you want to scale the things, let's say like you have built an app today and you are deploying it. So now its users are like quite minimum. After 10 days it got famous, after 1 month it got famous, and the users are suddenly increased. So you have to, we can say you have to use the load balancer to manage your load on the side to not get crashed. So you can use this on demand. So if you want to use, you can use it. It's called an on demand service that AWS have. So okay, so these three are the foundation service. Like when I was learning the AWS, I guess these three are the building block in the AWS if you want to learn, like EC2, Amazon S3, and Amazon IAM. So let's start with S3. Okay, so what is actually a S3? S3, we can say Google Store, Google Drive, right? So kind of that thing in the AWS. So if you want to store something, we can use S3. Just upload a file, and that's it will give some unique link that you can use for the storage. So what actually S3 do? So it will store images, store PDFs, store videos, and store ML dataset. Let's say you have SageMaker, right? ML SageMaker, where you can allow your ML model, where you can use ML things and that all. So the data set you are using, right? So that thing you can use the S3 for the loading data set in S3. S3 will give the unique link to you that you can use it in your SageMaker. So this is about S3. So we'll go to next is IAM. So IAM is, we can say, if you have the account. So what if you want to use the multi account in your account, like sub account, how much that sub account can contain that thing. Let's say a big company is there. So I'll give some roadmap like thing. So let's say one company is there. So they have one user, some admin group, some developer, some DevOps team, and some my app. Some that's the role. So developer groups are there. So will in the IAM, what they will do? They will build a group. They will build a role. They will build a user. What this will do, that particular user will get the particular services access. like data scientists there, they will get mostly ML services access. The full stack developers are there, they'll get mostly a development access. So these things are there in the IAM. So IAM is very important when you have the big company or small like startups and that all, and we have to manage the organization thing in this. So next is the EC2. EC2 is like a virtual server. So you can say a GPU. So if you want to build your chatbot, and that's people are messaging anyone is building chatbot in comment. But let's say if you want to build a chatbot, you needed big CPU, right? So that thing, that where the EC2 comes in picture, that will give the compute power to you. You can increase like 12x and 10x the GPU power. But the thing is like EC2 is very costly. I'll show my console like last month itself, my 40 to $50 my EC2, like we can say use. So this how EC2 is there, and why we need EC2. So one thing, when you have the physical server na, it cost more, it's got electricity, you have to pay the bills and that all. But EC2 just want to pay the hourly charges what the EC2 instance you charge. So that thing is better in the EC2 rather than maintaining the physical server. So what the roadmap, or we can say how the flow of that EC2 instance. So okay, so let's say you have the database. So database will load into Lambda. So Lambda is nothing but, you can say, the API management thing that you have done in Mad1, right? So we have that roots.py and then app.py file where we do our create operations and that one. So that thing in AWS Lambda, it happened that will connect it to database, and then this two will be connected to instance to increase our load balancing power. If you're getting 1,000 user, if you're getting 10,000 user, our app didn't want to, we can say, our didn't want to get cracked, or we didn't want to get shut down that app. So we'll use EC2. We can increase that power with that, and that way we can make our app safe and secure. So I'll so it's time to have the demo, guys. So if you want to use AWS, just search AWS console. So AWS console, you'll get one URL. So in the corner you are saying, right, sign in with console. So just click on that, and then it will redirect to AWS console. So there they will ask sign in, and we can say sign up. So you can create your account with your debit card. It's free only. They will cost ₹2. They will deduct ₹2, but they later they will add on. So there is no auto pay thing in that. So this is the console. When you will do sign, the console will look like this, where recently used services, what are applications you are doing, the cost and uses, like that I'm talking, right? How much cost I like use for this month, what's my server cost, how much services I'm using. So this is the console thing. We'll go with S3 bucket. So in between, guys, if you have doubt, just take the we can say chat once. There is a Google form. You can fill that form if you have any doubt and that all. So we'll answer it at the last. So I have created some buckets and here for that. Just will create new bucket again to store something. So let's the one unique thing where you have to follow here is like your name will be unique in all bucket name is want to be unique. There is no name that's set already on the whole thing, whole reason. So I'll set had like my bucket 1 2 3. If you go here and then just create on, click on create, it will not create because the name was already taken by someone. So we'll add number some unique, like, so yeah. So it's yeah, our bucket is successfully created. You can see here your bucket, S3 bucket. And okay, so here you can upload your files the same as we follow in Google Drive and that on. So let's say you want to add the file. I'll click on add file, and just I'll add this PPT here. So yes, guys. Yeah, that's all. Our file gets uploaded. So that's all about you can see EC2 like sorry S3. This will be the link where you can access that file. Okay. So yeah, we'll go for the next services that we talk. It's IAM.
Excuse me, this could be done programmatically, right? Instead of
Yes,
using
it
this
can.
console, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
it
we
can be
can
done.
do it through a Terraform, or you can say console also. But it's beginner session, so we are going now with step by step approach. Yeah, that way also possible. So let's say you have some company in that all. So let's say I have XYZ startup and I have to give some new people are there who are in the cloud. Some people are who are there in DevOps. Some people are there in the full stack. So I want to create one role for, let's say one is there in AIML. So I'll create one role like demo ML underscore team. So you have to attach the policy. Okay. So you can attach through your previous user also. So I'll attach through this thing, and then I'll just hit on next. Just don't forget to add the tag. Okay, what tag will do? Tag will, you can analyze the particular user how much he is using your, you can say thing like that. So let's, I'll add demo ml, and then I'll create the user. So that's all, our user is created. So if you want to set the password for that, we'll go here security conditional, and where you can do here enable, and then you can set the custom password. That will the custom password will set. After that, that particular user can log in through this link you are seeing, right? So after that, like the username and the password will here be generated. So that person will get access of the particular services that we have set on. And if you want to add more permission, like here you can add the more permission. More than 15 you can't add, I guess 15 is limit. So that's all about IAM. Let's go our third services, that's EC2. So EC2 is, I told, right, it's kind of a virtual server or virtual machine. Like my laptop is there where Windows is running. So let's, I want to add Ubuntu or something in my AWS. So here I can use the Ubuntu or some Linux here itself. So it's kind of a virtual machine or virtual, you can say, desktop and that all, where you can do your like deploying application. You can do all things you can do here. Just loading list. I just click on instance. Yeah, okay. So these are the instance that I created earlier. So I'll just click on launch instance for creating new. Plus again we'll do my server. So demo. Okay. So here you can set the, we can say which virtual machine you want to replicate, like Ubuntu, Amazon Linux, Mac OS, Windows. Let's say Ubuntu. Okay, so here comes the point actually, main point actually. So these are the we can say loader thing, or like this you can increase your load capacity of that instance. Is like, see, mine is like free tier account is enabled. So in the free tier account, what are the capacity are like, when I 1 GB memory will be there, how much it will cost in free tier, that was not be cost. But if you go for the T3 thing, then definitely it will cost, you can say it costs $0.1 per hour. So it's on based on that. So this is about the instance you can create on launch instance, and then it will create. So this is about the three demo we can, I have given EC2, then IAM, and then S3. So I'll show once about billing and cost management also. So let's say I have some, we can say some credits or some amount in my Amazon account. So how it, like, will get know how much it goes for which services, how to track that, we can say. Here option is there, billing and cost management. So if you go for the we can say last month is $42 cost. So I want to track like where the $42 went, which service it went more. So we'll go. So you can see here, guys. So I'll add dimension at service. It will give the graph like how much services you are using for the particular thing. I'll show one just 1 minute. So better than that, we'll go here itself. So if you see, like last month, like Amazon cluster services cost $40 to me. SageMaker cost $0.5. EC2 1 point. So this will give the breakdown that how much, where is your money going. For the big companies, needed their analysis and that one. So that's all about the, we can say, AWS demo. So yeah. So if you have any questions and that all, you can ask, guys. Unmute yourself and you can ask.
I think Ritik has raised his hand.
Yeah,
Yes,
Ritik,
sir.
go ahead.
My doubt is yes, sir. My specific doubt is regarding the pricing, sir. Is there a way that I could prepaid some amount and my machine and the thing will automatically shut down after that amount is done or after that compute is done? It will help to manage the prices. Or there is
Um,
any central thing where I can shut down all the services in one go and switch on all the services.
See, if you there is no point, there is no provision of prepaying the for the services. This is like whatever you use based on that you'll get monthly bills. But you can, if I'm not wrong, please correct me, Shudit, if I'm wrong. You can actually have some quota assigned for some project. Based on that, whenever it like reaches that threshold, it can automatically shut down. And but like the central place of like shutting down all this, if there, I think there is no such resources. You have to make sure that you can go to the billing management portal and see what all services are running. It will give you a forecast like how much bill you'll get after this month, and whatever services are running, you can just go to that page and you can shut down based on your need.
Okay, got it.
Shudit, you are on mute.
Okay, so yeah, sorry. So you can set in the cloud watch itself. There is section, I guess, monitoring alert, where you can set the limit for that. So that
Yes.
will give the, we can say, alarm to you. Set, you can set the alarm to that. So after particular use, they will give the email to you like it's cost this much and like your cost go on beyond this. So you can check and then you can stop that services. So in the mail, actually, I have
Uh,
I'm messaging you a spreadsheet where person have added the QA like already question. Can you answer that? I'll just message
yeah,
to
yeah,
you that.
sure.
Yeah.
Okay, you have. Uh, where have you sent me that?
Yeah. Uh, Between anyone want to ask, you can unmute yourself, guys.
And
Um,
just to add to that previous question, like if you are using any free tier services, whenever you are reaching that threshold where you will be billed, you will always get an email that you have reached that free tier threshold. And if you like maybe a few hours before that, you'll get that mail. So you just have to go to that service and you have to stop that. So I face this issue a lot. So you'll definitely get an email and before you just you are about to finish your free tire quota.
Got it, sir.
Yeah.
So in the slides, there was something like for associate level certification there is 1 year of experience needed. So am I getting it correct, or what is that?
Yeah, it is correct that you will need, like, if you're talking about the AWS expectation, it is correct, whatever is mentioned. But you, as a beginner, also, you can take that certification if you feel that you have enough experience and if you have enough hands on experience. But my suggestion is if you are beginner, if you don't have that amount of experience, please don't go for it. It will be very difficult, the examination.
So for taking that experience, we have to like we need hands-on experience, right? We have to create
Yes,
projects, right? And for that,
exactly.
we require the credits on Amazon, right? So
Yes, exactly.
AWS.
Exactly, exactly.
Okay, okay. Thank.
Any more questions? Yes, Rishabh has raised his hand.
Yeah, hello. Good evening. I have two questions for you. One question is that to learn to have cloud skills to get a job, the cloud skill is basically you are referring that we properly navigate through all these services and we deploy all those software properly, right? Is there any other specific language or anything specific console commands we need to learn during this whole journey?
So did you have to go for it?
The console command actually definitely it's matter, but for the certification you're talking, or like for
To
the
learn to learn cloud skills to get a job, do we need to have such
yeah,
specific
actually
skills?
it's matter, but sometimes in interview they'll suddenly ask you like do it manually, so that time you'll get stuck. So better to prepare how both.
Is it different from using normal Linux, or there is some separate commands specific for AWS or Azure or anything?
See, if you're talking about the experience will be almost actually absolutely the same, but the commands will be definitely different. But if you are familiar with Linux, if you have already taken the system commands course, it will be very easy for you to quickly pick up the skills. The commands will be different. How it will work, you can definitely go to the internet and check and quickly get started on CLI. So this is like CLI based approach. So you have to, if you are like focusing on developer roles, DevOps or software engineer, you will need the CLI skills to get started on AWS.
Okay, and my last question is that I have already completed the Microsoft AI 900 certification, and
Okay.
this AWS beginner certification, is it similar, or what are the changes, difference between them?
See, there are two beginner like foundational certification. One is AWS Cloud Practitioner. One is AI Practitioner. Cloud Practitioner will have certain basic skills that are almost similar to any cloud platform, but you need to understand the AWS services as well to to actually take that certification. So my suggestion will be go to the AWS certification page. Um, like if you are focusing on the AWS certification, we have taken one session on AWS Academy. There you have discussed a detail about all these things. You can quickly check that and like understand what all things you need to prepare, how you should start your preparation. That will be the good place to start.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, in the end we'll
Where is
take
that
that Google sheet
session?
question.
Yeah,
Yeah, you want,
yeah.
you can go.
Yeah, yeah, the session that you are talking about, where we have you have taken that.
You can check the ITM official YouTube channel. There it is actually. You can find it.
Yeah, we'll share in group
Oh,
also.
so the orientation session that took place, I think 15 days ago.
Yes, yes.
Yes. So
Okay.
okay, I'll
Uh, y-
yeah,
yeah,
I'll go
I'm
with
taking the question.
yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, okay, yeah, you can go in the
So I'm just taking the question from the Google Sheet from the form. Someone has asked about like building AI-driven systems for AR and space traffic management. So, if I understood the question correctly, uh, for AI, you need a separate set of services. Like SageMaker is the go-to service for you. You need to understand how SageMaker works. for building and deploying your AI models, your ML models, and that is like one go-to service you need to must understand. And for the AI, for the space and traffic management, if these are IoT services, you need to actually go and check what are the IoT services, how you can get the data from different tools and things, right? AI, like air traffic, all these things. How can you get that? If it is IoT, then you need to check what all IoT services are available. Otherwise, you can check the streaming services. Streaming data will need for definitely need. So what all streaming services are available on AWS, you need to check. And for machine learning, you definitely need to understand AWS SageMaker and the other tools like S3 and some databases also you need to understand.
So actually, I'll ask the question, the sheet question to you.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, it's better. So any free course from AWS site for practice?
Yes. So free courses, the first best place to start is AWS Academy. Register for the AWS Academy. If you are already registered, you must have received one email from AWS Academy to register. Please go and start taking the courses. If you are not yet registered, please wait for the next term when it will start again and you can take the AWS Academy courses. These are semester long, well structured courses that you can take, and it will also give you access to AWS emerging talent community where you can get access to some cool perks like exam vouchers sometimes. And if you want more hands-on exercise, I'm giving you the link on the chat. So here you can actually go for the AWS Foundational Cloud Quest, Cloud Practitioner Quest. So it will give you business problems. Like we have some like it. These are very real world like business problems, and you can actually get access to temporary accounts and work on this real world application. So if you need more hands-on practice, use AWS Academy courses and this Cloud Quest.
So
In
someone
short,
is asking like for preparing clouds, like certification will be enough, or want to prepare the projects on tool like and then want to learn to like Terraform and that all.
yes. So Terraform and all, even I don't know, but yeah, you will definitely need it. But these are very advanced. First, start with some simple project, and maybe you can deploy your Mad 1, Mad 2 application, and you can share that with your recruiters, and then you can go and start with your Terraform journey. These are like developer certification kind of expectation, but for a cloud practitioner, it is actually not required.
Actually, I just want to add one point. After
Yeah.
NSM, we are planning a small boot camp on that, from development to Dockerization and Dockerization to production. So it's like you are using localhost, right? So better than that, we'll get the AWS deployment there. We'll give the demo, hands-on demo for that. So be wait for that. We'll have in future.
Yeah.
So the next
It will
question
be.
is like, yeah. Yes.
Yeah, it will be like just for the student, for the participants. It will be very good, great experience for you. You need some like deployment experiment, like practice, so that you can get started on cloud. So please register for it whenever you receive the mail. Yeah.
Actually,
Yes.
someone is asking, if you get chance to like, if you get certification voucher and if you get fail, so we'll get reattempted or like that.
No,
Money will waste.
no, your
Student
money
discount is
will.
there any?
So retake sometimes AWS provides retake voucher. It was available in through December to January or something. But in general, if you fail that, that means your money got wasted. It is very clear thing. You cannot get any refund from that. Student
So
discount, there is nothing like that.
yeah. So what is we can do mining in EC2? Someone is asking like want to train the model. Yeah.
Please don't do that. If AWS has forecasting like anomaly detection tools inbuilt, so if they they have a lot of intelligence in their system. So if they suspect any abnormal behavior, they will spin down your resource and your account may get banned. So if you are thinking of doing any illegal activities, please don't do that on AWS.
So next question is like, let's say he's using AWS and he's an Indian customer, like he use Mumbai or let's say South region. So now we want to expand in other country. So let's say US or like Europe. So the billing will be different in each country or same?
Most of the services, billing are very region specific. So sometimes even the free tier services are not available across all the regions. So you need to check the exact billing specifications before deploying or before starting any services on any other regions except the default one. Most likely it will be different. Most of the services.
Yeah. Yeah, that's all. Anyone want to ask? Please unmute and you can ask. That's all in the
Yeah.
Google search.
Okay. Any more questions? Any AWS Academy questions that we missed to take in the last session? Any
Yeah,
cloud
people are asking
project?
a lot of question, right? When
Uh,
the traditional will comes and then it will start, when to complete. Please answer that question.
Okay. So yes, the AWS Academy, to summarize or to quickly give you, AWS Academy is like just like you are taking your IITM courses. AWS Academy is place where you take the cloud courses in structured format. You start with cloud foundations, then you'll go for higher courses like DevOps, data engineering, machine learning. So these are semester long courses, and you will have 2 months to finish that courses. Once you finish that course, you can get certificate from AWS Academy. These are different from the AWS cloud certifications. Those are paid. So once you finish one AWS Academy course, you will get invite to AWS ETC. Like you can show it and see it in my background. It is you can AWS Emerging Talent Community. So you'll get access to that part, and from there, if you complete certain tasks, you can get some points. If you accumulate certain points, you can get some vouchers. So that is like a roadmap to get free vouchers for free through AWS Academy. Any questions?
Any question you are there, guys? You can ask. You can unmute yourself and you can ask, or we'll wind up the session, guys. Okay.
Can I ask one question regarding that deep? There was one event, AWS Deep Racer or something like that. Can you please
Yes.
brief it about it? I wanted to join that event, but I couldn't comprehend what it is about.
So Deep Racer is a platform. Deep Racer is a reinforcement learning related platform. Reinforcement learning, I'm not going into that, but basically, you can create your own RL model, and this is like, and then you race against your peers. So you build a AI racing car model, and it can actually you have to basically finish to the end point in a certain amount of time, whatever time you take. So that is like a racing event, and you build that model using RL, reinforcement learning. So that is a platform where you can actually train your model, you can tune your model, and we hosted this deep racer event. We actually host it time to time. These are for students, so you can actually, this is the the last one was online. We also hosted one offline event in Paradox 2023, if I'm not wrong, where we brought the actual physical cars and we had a race where someone from the AWS came. So it was a great experience. So if you are someone interested in deep racer, please register for the online event. You will quickly get started, and once you are pro, you can register. You can get started on the physical race as well.
The whole thing was created
Actually, I
using
just want to
Amazon
add.
services.
Yeah, yeah, please, please.
I just want to add one point in deep racer. So actually, they are stopping this deep racer after 2025. So they are doing
Oh,
it open source. So deep racer will be like it become open source now. So they are not physical races and that also. You can just access it like through online. Definitely
oh,
now in house will take races. That's not the problem. And also actually in I guess September time they will launch AWS scholarship, AIML scholarship every year. with this deep research thing. So we'll update
Mm-hmm.
you, but be registered for that. You'll get hands-on learning about AWS, machine learning, deep learning, and that all. Someone
Yeah,
asking question. Please continue.
yeah, yeah. Please
Yeah,
continue.
Indranil. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so
You
the,
are saying something.
regarding the scholarship, it is a it is a great opportunity. You'll get access to hands-on training, Udacity AI Nano Degree program, and like this is a global scholarship that will get only selected handful people will get this every year. So whenever it opens, we'll send you an email reminder, and please like register for it and probably get it. It will be a great value addition for your resume. Sujit
Rishabh,
got it,
please
I think.
continue.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Me,
Okay.
Rishabh, please continue.
Yeah, I was just saying that the whole deep tracer, the thing, the RDL model were creating using Amazon services, right?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yes.
You don't have to have a lot of you don't need any other you don't need to use any other tools or any other services. Deepracer is a full-fledged like platform where you can the Deepracer student is where you can just write the reward function and you can just get started on you can train the model. The full-fledged Deepracer that is a kind of paid service, so there you can have a lot of other resources, but yeah, that for that you need a like actual AWS account. For student account, whatever you are hosting, for that you just need to write the like reward function and need to tune the hyperparameters. So it's very easy to like start your journey on the Placer Student.
Okay. So the
Yeah.
hosting
Any
in
question in that?
Amazon always requires money, right?
No. If you are hosting using some free tier, whatever you showed, right? Like if you are hosting on EC2 or EKS, there are some free tiers available. If you are well within that, you will need not spend any penny from your pocket.
I recently created a project using that Llama 2 model to implement
Uh,
a RAG bot. So if I upload that project in AWS
Cloud.
to deploy that, will it cost money?
Definitely, because for that you will
Uh,
need some GPU, right? So
yes, yes.
GPUs are these are costly. So please check the pricing. Well, it's for everyone. Whenever you are planning to start any cloud project, go and check the pricing. If at all it is eligible for free tier, then only go and like start the project. If you are not willing to spend some money, if you are borrowing some credit card from your friends, your parents, please be very careful. Otherwise, you will get a huge bill after the end of the month. Okay, so please be
Yeah,
careful.
you can see my billing account. $40 last month only it cost,
Uh,
but it's not like I'm paying that $40. Actually, I got credit from attending a AWS event, online event. So I
yeah,
attended AWS online event, and then they share that $50 to me. So you
yeah,
can keep your eyes on this type of event. So you'll get these credits.
yeah. To give you another point to join the Cloud Club. Cloud Club. If you are a very active member of the AWS Cloud Club, you may get selected as one next captain, and the captains actually get a lot of benefit. Not lot, but yeah, some benefits from the AWS. I was one of the I was the captain for last year. Then Sujit was one of the very active member. That's how he got selected. So both of us got some benefits like cloud credit certification, this thing. So please be an active member. Maybe join the core team. Help Sujit to host more events, and you will get some perks out of it.
Yeah. Any extra questions are there, guys?
Yeah. Last a few last questions. Link for the yes. Shubhas has raised his
Yeah.
hand.
Yeah, you can actually scan the screen, or actually our team member Tarun, right? Tarun, can you share the membership form as well as recruitment form link to? Yeah,
So
actually,
Yeah,
Tarun.
yeah, I already shared in comments.
Yeah, can you share a recruitment form also? Recruitment form.
Okay.
any question?
Please share
Someone
the.
was raising his or her hand, please. last yes, resources for the certification. Once we'll definitely share whenever we whenever we compile all these things properly. This was the slide from the last year. When we refresh that, we'll share that with you. If you want. Someone was
Yeah,
asking for
actually,
the internship. Yeah, yeah, please go ahead.
actually, I shared that Linktree link in the chat section where you can access all our meetup, LinkedIn, and whole registration, and we can say membership form and recruitment form link. So in one link as are there, I have pinned that link. So please check out that, guys. Yeah, please continue.
Yes. Internship, we have not talked about any internship. If I was talking about my own internship experience, where I started actually learning, I use AWS a lot in one of the Nissan's project. So if you are someone who is actually interested to start your journey as data scientist, ML engineer, will definitely need some cloud skills. So please register for the AWS Academy courses and first take the free courses. Do not go for the certifications. Those are very costly. Take the free courses, learn those things, and then maybe once you're ready, you can get some vouchers from AWS CTC and get some get the certificate.
Yeah, actually, a person is very beginner in the cloud, right? So if he attended this session, the two takeaway he can take, like to we they have, if you have done the Madon project, they can try the deployment here in the AWS with the
Yeah,
free tier, and the second is like to do these free courses to get
yeah,
the creditly batches.
exactly,
So
exactly.
yeah, any questions are there, guys, or we'll wind up. Yeah, you can join our groups and that all through that link. Yeah, that's all right.
Any more
Yeah, okay.
questions? Quickly. Okay, good. We are
Yeah,
maybe I think we're good.
yeah, okay. Thank you, Indranil, for accepting our request to come and give the session. So
It
we
was
didn't got
great.
that much time to prepare.
It's fine. It's always a great experience whenever we get this opportunity to talk to all of you. I also started. I also like to give you a brief experience. I also transitioned from a very pure science background to data science. So if you are someone who is not familiar with cloud, you can also learn through all these free courses and whatever opportunities we'll get from the AWS Cloud Club, and at least get started on AWS, and you'll get more opportunity to once you are upskilled on cloud, you can apply for a lot of internships. So please be active and register for the events as and when it comes. Thank you guys. Thank you Sudhir for inviting me.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that's all, guys. If you have any more question, you can ask in group. I'll share both PPT and all the resources too in the group. So please check out in WhatsApp group. Yeah, thank you. We'll wind up now. Okay, bye.
Thank you. Bye everyone.
Bye.